everybody, this is Bob from Buckeye Sports Center, and today I'm going to take a look at the 2023 Moomba Craz. So the Craz is a boat that the model has been in the line for several years from Moomba, but we've got this new boat here that is just awesome, and we're going to see when we get inside how awesome it is. The biggest, most noticeable thing about this boat is it's massive. Okay, so you can see kind of sitting on the trailer here, how tall it is. I mean, shoot, it's sitting on the trailer here, it's much taller than I am, so we're going to see a ton of freeboard, a ton of comfort inside the boat, a ton of storage, but really, going with the trend of the wake boat market, going a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper, a little bit heavier, and that's obviously going to allow for more ballast and more additional weight, and just to create that wave to be the most awesome that it can be. So we'll check out the interior of the boat, but one thing that I always want to make sure everybody is aware of with Moomba is that this particular boat, from a build perspective, even though Moomba is on the value end of the spectrum, the fiberglass workmanship, the fit and finish of the boat, I put that up against literally every other brand, and we sell 5 of them, 5 different brands at all different price points. And Moomba is always, I'm always very impressed with Moomba from a standpoint of what they're able to do at the price point that they're at, as far as fit and finish quality, as far as fiberglass workmanship. The gel coat coming out impeccable. So you'll see that when you see the boat in person, but we'll try to stress that as we go through the video here. Okay, looking at the transom of this boat, one thing I do like is we do have 2 little seats back here that we can kind of use as kind of setup seats, or as you're getting booted up or ready to go for the ride. So we've got that set up here. It also makes the step up from the platform, since it is such a deep boat, a little easier. All right, and we do have the full walkthrough, as we'll see as we go inside. But obviously, at the core of any wakeboard boat is what is going on with the surf system. How do they help create that nice, awesome surf wave? So Moomba's got some unique technology that they have that's patented, some innovative stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Flow 3 surf system, which is a 3rd generation of this system. We've got a 2-tiered side surf tab, that does go at several different angles depending on the wave you're trying to go. We do have an auto wake plate in the middle, all right, as well as we see the surf pipe there for the exhaust. So this is a pretty advanced tab system. But in addition to that, and there's videos that go through this a little bit more than I'm going to go through today, but Moomba has what's called a auto wake system, which basically has the wave automatically adjust the ballast in the boat, so that if there's, just to try to create that optimal angle that Moomba knows that it needs to create that awesome surf wave. So, if conditions change in the boat, if somebody, some bigger person moves from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, the auto wake system, if you turn that on, will automatically adjust the ballast to account for that, to create that wave and make it, stay consistent. So that's a cool, innovative technology that they're definitely check out some videos on that technology that comes with all the Moomba boats. And it's kind of unique because they're the only ones that have that technology, whereas others have, other things like patented surf gates and stuff like that. Moomba's kind of cool system is called that auto wake, so check that out in other videos. Okay, we move inside the Moomba Craz, and basically we're looking at a pretty roomy, deep boat for a 22-foot, in that 22-foot category. So you see a ton of space in here. The fit and finish on Moombas, I think, is really excellent. You really look at the nooks and the crannies and all the different pieces of flooring and stuff like that you see everywhere. They do a really nice job on the upholstery, all that type of stuff. We look at the transom area. We've got 2 large storage compartments on either side. There is the ballast under there. Now, the ballast does not fill up this whole space. It's a huge space, so you can throw some life jackets, some lighter items on top that are not going to be bursting out or having an issue. So you do have a little bit of storage there. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you can, with the ballast tanks empty, you can definitely throw wakeboards and stuff like that in there, because there is a ton of space and a ton of depth in there. We've got the little tray here for above the engine for some ropes or some quick neat items. We do see that we do have a pop-up pylon on here, which is pretty cool. So this pylon you can actually store away. So if you want to create that, so that's pretty cool. We've got the Inmar 6.2 liter engine, 400 foot-pounds of torque in this. So this engine's been out for several years now. So it's pretty reliable engine on this particular guy. It used to be that you'd get a 320 or a 340 foot-pounds of torque engine, but now they've upped it to 400. We see the full walkthrough. So again, on a value-priced boat, you don't see very many with that full walkthrough. All right, so where you can walk from the transom all the way to the cockpit without having to step on any upholstery at all. So that's pretty cool on this Moomba. When we get into other things related to this boat, the one thing I always like to mention is the tower. The tower is a full fiberglass tower as opposed to like a rotocast or a plastic tower. So, great fit and finish on the black tower color. We do have a quick release latch, so if you do need to tilt it down, it's pretty easy to do. This particular one, you can see how the actual coverage of the top actually covers about the front 2/3 or so of the cockpit. So the driver plus probably 4 or 5 people inside the cockpit are covered underneath the bimini top. We do see a nice heavy-duty billet Roswell wakeboard swivel rack system. We also see 2 huge tower speakers on this boat. This boat also is equipped with some extra speaker upgrades and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And then from a seating perspective, we'll get into more seats here in a second, but we do have this slider seat here in the center. So this slider seat actually does slide to 3 different positions. So if you did want to have a rear-facing seat, you can pretty quickly adjust that and have a rear-facing seat. There are optional backrests to it, so you can kind of create a backrest all the way across. One interesting note about this boat, we see on the starboard side, we see that piece for the chair that's a lean back. We actually can do that exact same thing on the port side by removing this cushion, and then there's another insert for another rear-facing seat. So you can easily have an additional observer or rear-facing seat in this boat, and also have leg room for the observer over here if you wanted to. So it gives you some versatility in how you want to set up the boat, which is pretty cool considering this, Moomba is definitely a more value-oriented brand. So a lot of times, with a value-oriented boat or a value brand, you pretty much get the cookie-cutter way the boat's built, and there's really no cool features or options or whatever. But Moomba's definitely doing some cool innovations where you get some cool little nooks and little crannies and little things that you don't normally get on a value-oriented boat. Okay, so we moved to the helm area, the dash of the Moomba Craz. This is going to be the same basically on all the Moombas. So this is pretty cool. We've got the digital screen off to the right, which is a color screen. There are going to be other videos out there on the internet, I think, where the Moomba produces that definitely have more information about that. Definitely check out that because it's pretty cool. What this boat can do, we talked about it a little bit with the auto wake and some of the other features. It's a pretty advanced boat, with some unique technology that's only available from Moomba and Super boats. So other things I like is we do have, I can quick adjust, like basically looks like a turn signal here. I can quick adjust that center wake tab. So if I wanted to make a quick adjustment myself, I can do that with the wake tab. I also can adjust the speed up or down by, I think it goes up by like 0.1 miles per hour at a time. All right, so I can do that really quickly on the fly. I can adjust which way I'm surfing just with clicking that button one way or the other. We've got our fusion stereo control. 15-person capacity on this boat. There's space for everybody. And again, we see a nice vinyl wrap top, which is something that you're normally not going to see on a more value-oriented boat. So it makes it look a little richer, more automotive, premium, that type of deal. And I really like this little shelf they put in here to throw your keys, your extra cell phones, other little nooks and crannies. It gets it out of the sun, has a little lip on it so it's not going to slide back and off. It's kind of a non-skid setup. So, and then obviously all your ballast fills and lights and all that are controlled over by the stitching. The other thing I like is that our throttle control does have a nice armrest all the way along the right-hand side, so I can see a comfortable seating position here. So overall, just a well-designed, simple dash, but everything that you need, nice and clean, real well done. I'll talk about a couple other features of the boat while we're in here. We do see the battery on-off switch is actually located right here, which is really convenient rather than having to take off a cushion or go back to the engine or something like that. We've got a dual entry glove box where you can actually enter stuff from the left-hand side here, from the middle, or from the top. All right, so whichever is more convenient to access. Just a nice large glove box area over there. And then the storage in general, obviously we've got the big observer storage here, but I always like to point out with Moomba how we do have all the flooring of all the storage compartments, and we do see several compartments are hinged now from Moomba, but there's no carpet. All right, so you don't have to worry about mildew and stuff like that. Believe it or not, there are brands out there that still have carpet in their storage compartments on boats that cost quite a bit more than this. So so a lot of value and well thought out design there. Last section of the boat is going to be the bow, and we've got the bow filler cushion in right now. Again, this is a traditional bow boat. This is not a pickle fork boat, but we do have a lot of width up here. All right, this is plenty big enough for 2 to 3 people, and probably even 4 kids sitting up here. And the nice thing too is, literally you could have 2 people, with the padding kind of wrapping around here. We could have 2 people facing backwards in a traditional bow boat with good, some good seating that you can actually sit seating backwards. Other things I like about the bow, we zoomed in on nice cutout for the speaker and the cup holders there. There also is a USB charger in there. Again, well thought out, nice, vinyl wrapped grab handle, which is really premium fit and finish and good feel there, which is really nice for the people sitting in the boat. Plus the depth up here. All right, so this is a very deep bow. So if you've got smaller kids, or you're just worried about kids bouncing out or anything, like, you don't really have to worry about that too much on the bow of this boat. So a ton of space, a ton of room in this boat. It feels way bigger than a 22. I mean, I've honestly been in 24-foot boats that don't have as much space as this boat does. So, definitely a lot of value here. If you're looking to get into a wakeboard boat, so the next question that always comes up, Moomba's been around for a long time. They've always been consistently about the 5th biggest builder, somewhere in the 5-6 range. They've kind of been in that realm of the market. They're not, one of the top 2 or 3 brands. They build what they're able to build. They're a smaller company, but they're also not so small that they're not cracking. It's not like some of these other smaller vendors that are barely selling any boats. I mean, they're selling a lot of boats. They're always just kind of like 5th or 6th in the market, not spending a ton of money on athletes and extra marketing, and they're privately owned, so they don't have stockholders. So pretty much you can see the product, the value is put into the product, and the money that they have is really put into the product, as opposed to this whole list of vice presidents and stuff like that. So that's one thing I like about them, and they do a great job with us as a dealer. We've been a dealer for over 10 years, and they're a very good company to deal with. So the biggest problem that they have is that we cannot get enough of them. We can't sell as many boats as we want. So because of that, we have other brands that we sell in this category. So ultimately, the biggest issue that we have with Moomba, and a lot of people have, is that they can't keep up with the demand, because their boats are great, they're great priced, they just can't build enough of them. That's the issue that they've always kind of had, even before the peak of the market and stuff like that. So one thing I will say, a lot of people would compare this boat maybe to a pre-owned boat from 5 or 6 years ago. You've got the newest and greatest in dash technology. You've got the newest and greatest in surf gate technology, surf system technology, I should say here, with the Flow surf system. Warranty on this boat. All right, so you got a brand new boat warranty, and with the depth of this boat and the boat's getting deeper and bigger, I would very much consider this boat, as opposed to maybe a 5-year-old boat from brand X that could be maybe the same price or maybe a little less, but now you're getting a more innovative, newer technology boat with a warranty, and that would be something I'd strongly consider, as opposed to that 5-year-old pre-owned boat from brand X that has no warranty, might have 300 hours on it. Who knows, how hard the old customer was on it. So thanks again for checking out the Moomba Craz with us at Buckeye Sports Center. For more information, you can view videos from Moomba and 4 other inboard brands with us on our YouTube page. Subscribe to that to check that out. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the water.